Hello. Today I'm filming the moon in Scorpio, and I did film earlier today, but I'm going to redo everything because that's just me. I have a couple of family members with this sign, and with this placement, I see that it can oftentimes point to investment, whether they're doing it themselves or whether the mother figure in-house is doing investments. And that's why, being the 8th sign, if you look at the 8th symbol sideways, is infinity. So it basically represents the giving and receiving of energy, which is fluid and ever-changing and never the same. Why did I sound like that? You know that Lady Gaga meme? Fantastic. Okay, never mind. So although people say the moon is in fall because it's opposite Taurus, which is exalted, they oftentimes forget that the extreme lows are coupled with extreme highs, and because of that, these people are very careful with their finances. They can be, and they can work late into the night because Scorpio is dark and represents, along with moon, it's that dark night, right? So they're very strong-willed, being ruled by Mars as well, Scorpio. These people can have a lot of determination to achieve what they want, and you'll see in the celebrity horoscopes that I'm going through later that these people, one, they can have very powerful voices if they're singers, although Taurus is said to rule the voice, and Scorpio more of that passionate side, the sexual side. They can have very powerful voices, and oftentimes the aesthetic can be very edgy, punk rock, like Avril Lavigne, or it can be very eccentric, like Katy Perry or Bjork. And Scorpio is exalted in Uranus, so it's no wonder that these people like to express that eccentric side of themselves because they like being real and not fake. It can also point to a love for luxury. That's the extreme high. And you see that in the 2 Blackpink members, Lisa and Jennie, especially. If you look at the 4 members, out of the 2 of them, I feel they are the most, especially Lisa, she has a song Money, right? They're the most into that luxurious lifestyle. And especially the like videos, like not serious videos, but just fan videos of like Jennie being jealous of Lisa, and I feel that that could be very real and true because she's a Scorpio moon and Capricorn sun, and usually sun and earth sign, especially Capricorn, doesn't really care, apart from except Taurus, so Cap and Virgo don't really care about what other people think, and they don't get clingy. But with her Scorpio moon, she's very clingy towards Lisa especially. And it's interesting because in the new movie The Idol, starring Jennie and Lily Rose Depp, you see that The Weeknd and Lily, Jennie, all 3 of them have Scorpio moon. And if you watch the movie or reviews of the movie, I don't really like it, but I saw a review of it, which was already a lot. You see that these dark themes play out, and I'm wondering if it's because The Weeknd is using his power in Scorpio power place to he uses power to take advantage or not, or to show that dark side of Scorpio. And it's no wonder that Jenny and Lily click very well. They may understand each other on a very almost without words psychic level, if you will. And the moon being in the childhood can oftentimes point to siblings, and this may cause a lot of power struggle with siblings. The person can be very secretive and have a very controlling mother. And if you look at Kylie Jenner's chart, her moon is in Scorpio, and that's very interesting because her sibling Kendall is a Scorpio and her mother is a Scorpio. And they can be very good in business because Scorpio is about shared resources, and with the moon there, they can be very on point with their instincts. And more so than the sun sign, these people like to hide because sun is shining a light. So sun wants to shine in whatever area it's in. So even in the Scorpio sign, they may not be as private. So they may be very good business owners. So Kylie, like I mentioned, and because Kylie has her midheaven in Libra, it makes a lot of sense that she's doing business in beauty area, right? Investigative, yes. So these people have very good research skills because they want to dive deep into whatever they're learning. But in the moon is more like with the family, you know, you have grown up with family members who are in high positions and therefore the need for privacy. They could have been in investigative positions. You might not have known your mother very well. You might have had a tumultuous childhood, but you might not have understood everything, but you want to understand what had happened. Unlike Pisces is more of an escapism sign, especially in the moon. Sun and Pisces are more so wanting to shine a light on the subconscious or what we don't see, but the moon in Pisces would want to escape. So in Scorpio, these people want to find out, you know, that they are able to face the difficult things, and because of this, when they grow up, they're able to face tough situations because their childhood was already so tough. And it doesn't always point to something very serious like abuse, but the theme is there. Like in such a strong sign, also the mother or mother figures may have been dominant and the father figure may have been more absent, or may, you know, depending on who the mother figure was in the house, this can play out differently. But we still have to remember that at the end of the day, this is still a water sign, so these people are emotional and sensitive, and out of the 3 water signs, they are the most emotional, I feel. They can be very athletic too because it's ruled by Mars, and we see that in Bruce Lee. He's a Scorpio moon, so he has that drive and perseverance to never give up on his martial arts skills. And martial arts makes a lot of sense because martial arts is about feeling the energy, right? The chi. So the moon in Scorpio is very at home there. And these people need commitment from their partners and friends. They cannot have flaky people, and although they will forgive the people close to them, they will not forget it, And this is why they have the reputation sometimes of being revengeful or even manipulative, but that is only if they're portraying the dark side of Scorpio moon. And if you have your sun in an air sign, that may be conflicting because air signs want to talk and Scorpio doesn't want to share. So they may go back and forth with it. And when the moon is transiting in Scorpio, oftentimes it's good to retreat and take a step back because this is a very volatile transit and it can point to conflicts in a household, especially in a private life. So be sure to keep that in mind. And representing the mother and the moon, it can point to birth. So the mother's birth for moon in Scorpio may have been more difficult, or if it's in a female's chart, when they give birth to a child, it may have been challenges. You may even want to have a water birth. And these people are very good at studying human behavior, not in a theoretical way, but in a very real way. And that's why they are less likely to be the ones to fall for marketing schemes or scammers or pyramid schemes, because they're already so like paranoid, or they're already so skeptical about the outside world because their own private life is not safe. So why would they trust other people? But I realized with moon, especially because it's very close with Scorpios, once they fall for you, they really fall for you, and that's why it's so dangerous for them to just fall for anybody, because they really give their all. And that's why they expect everything, because they will give you 100% and more. And that can be very tough because people don't always react well to it unless they find someone who's compatible. But I've seen with this placement, when they lose someone in a relationship in whatever way, they can struggle with it more so than other signs. But if they don't give a shit about you, then they're not gonna care, because that's not their priority. So 3 singers with the moon in Scorpio is Beyonce, Lady Gaga, and Miley Cyrus. And I know more about Beyonce and Lady Gaga. I know that they're highly disciplined and competitive, especially coupled with their sun signs. So Beyonce is a Virgo and Lady Gaga is an Aries. So these 2 signs want to achieve the best. Coupled with that Scorpio fixed stamina, is a fixed sign, they really can achieve what they want. And it's interesting that if you know Katy Perry, she's a triple Scorpio, so her ascendant is in Scorpio along with sun and moon. And if you know her, how she started, you know that she had a very tumultuous start in the music industry. She was rejected multiple times, and yet she continued to persevere on. So she has that ability. And although yes, it does rule sexuality, you won't see them displaying it because moon is private necessarily to the public, unless they have 5th house or Leo placements that can point to a display of their sexual side in a more performative way, like Beyonce or Kylie. Kylie's a Leo. So she still consciously craves that recognition. So there's a dark side to these people. Like I mentioned, The Weeknd, if you listen to his music, although people didn't pick it up a lot initially after he released The Idol, people have been studying his music and realized that there's a power struggle undertone to it, dark themes, Plutonian themes. And it's no surprise that Mark Zuckerberg has this moon along with his fixed sun in Taurus, because although he has managed to achieve a lot with Facebook and Meta, for one second, I feel that when I look at like his recent pictures, especially, that's a dark side. I feel that his eyes are very scary, like when I stare into his soul, which I don't dare to, but many Scorpios will not be afraid to. I'm like, he looks very scary, especially so if they harness it the good way, they will achieve a lot, but if they take advantage of others, that's a dark side. And sometimes these people can attract controversy towards them, not just because haters want to hate. Sometimes that happens. I believe with Jennie from Blackpink, she does receive a lot of backlash, whereas Lisa does not, although they are both displaying like very sexual sides publicly, like wearing like being scantily clad. You know, Lisa doesn't really get as much backlash as Jennie, and sometimes these people can feel like very out of place, not in a way that occurs will feel, but in a way that they feel that they have to keep things private and secret, also because people don't accept them as they are on a deeper level, and people don't accept the dark stuff. It's not easy, no matter who you are, to just randomly bring up, you know, dark themes like abuse or manipulation, or, you know, you don't just randomly talk about these things in your everyday life. So they may struggle with that a lot because the moon needs that. So I find it interesting that Charlie Chaplin has his moon and ascendant in Scorpio, because he was a comedian, right? So although traditionally you think of Sagittarius as a comedian, these people may have very precise comedic timing, because they know humans, how people behave well. They know how to take a step back and observe people. And what I find, the humor is more of a darker humor usually. It's more they may vibe more with a Capricorn's humor, where it's more dry, sarcastic, but dark. Theirs is more like really poking at you, like it may come out of left field. Really, you may not even realize. They keep their intentions hidden, but they're very good at guessing or reading other people's intentions, because this sign has strong gut feeling, and especially if it's with Mars, because Mars belongs in Scorpio. Although Pluto belongs in Scorpio, Pluto conjunct the moon is very difficult. placement because Pluto is not easy. It's about power struggle. It rules Scorpio, so it's about everything that Scorpio is about. And it may cast a theme of darkness over one's childhood if the Pluto is conjunct the moon. Alex Turner. His music is very edgy, very punk, like Avril Lavigne. His music has a dark theme in his own way as well. He has Mars and Pluto conjunct the moon. So yeah, he's expressing how he really feels as a Scorpio moon. And these people, I forgot to mention, have very, very good memory. Not in the way that Virgo will remember details, but in a way that it just sticks deep in their mind and they can't forget it. Especially in the moon, they have very good memory even of things in the past. They may even mention like, oh, this happened when you were younger, or this happened in my childhood, and most people may not remember such things. So they have excellent memory. I think with the moon in Scorpio, they may have been pushed to a sexual how do I put it, role at a young age. Like, for example, if you look at Lily Rose Depp, she's a Scorpio moon and she's a model, right? So although yes, she has famous parents, sometimes it could point to being pushed to unhealthy roles at a young age. And it points to a sense of loneliness, you know. But if I look at Lily's chart, I can see that she hasn't had the easiest childhood, especially in the 12th. It makes a person more vulnerable if they have planets in the 12th, more sensitive. And the mother may have struggled financially at a young age, and they may have seen that struggle growing up, and that's why they don't want to struggle as an adult. And the mother, although she struggled, she was probably very resourceful and able to get herself out of situations even at the last minute. Jimmy Fallon. He's a Virgo. 5th moon in Scorpio. You know, I think the reason why people, although some people don't like him as with celebrities, there's always people that like us and don't like us, right? But I find that he's able to get people to be really comfortable on his show, and I do attribute that to his moon in Scorpio as well, being able to read people and understand what they need and giving that to them through his rising in Pisces. But to be a talk show host, you really have to do your research on people, and Scorpio enjoys that because that's what they do naturally anyway. They study people. Yes, so sometimes we will see politicians with this placement because politics is a very messy field. I'm not going to go through the politicians. Yes, so Jenny Kim's chart is here. Okay. Oh, I need to scroll again. Usually with this placement, you don't really need my advice unless you have like the moon in the 12th house, because you already have very good intuition and you already know yourself very well, and you don't need other people to tell you what to do. So with her sun in Cap and moon in Scorpio, Jenny is a strong character, but she's not able to portray this because of the industry she's in. And the sun is exactly conjunct Neptune, so I do have sun and Neptune in the same sign, so it can make a person softer, yes, but ultimately it's still in Capricorn for her, so she's definitely a lot more driven than she will portray herself to be. And in order to be part of any K-pop group, I feel you have to be driven to a certain extent, right? Especially one of the biggest ones in the world. 27 minutes. Okay, I still have time. I think it's interesting that Lisa is Aries, Lisa from Blackpink, because that makes her doubly ruled by Mars. And I don't have a chart here, but I know she's an Aries, so that's why she's known for being like the best dancer, because Mars is that energy, that passion, and that drive, and Aries rules the physical body, so she's very in tune with her physical self. Oh, her chart is here. Okay. And I forgot to mention that Scorpio rules transformation, so oftentimes these people find themselves changing completely, go from one end and then go to another end, because it also rules black and white thinking. So I find that Lisa, out of my personal opinion, out of all the members, actually no, she's one of the members. I find that she's one of the members that has changed drastically physically from pre-debut to after she became famous, and I feel that they're able to take it well because that's their inherent nature. Let's see. Lauren Yargui, is that true? I never knew that about her. So she's double water because she's a Cancer. That makes her very emotional. I met a few, and this is off tangent, I met a few Cancers recently, a couple, and I find that these people can be very creative people, although traditionally people don't say they are. We usually point more towards Pisces or Leo, but Cancer placement, especially in the sun, can be very creative, very expressive, but they do need time to rest because it's ruled by the moon. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to cover about the traits, and I'll go into reading now. So I have this self-care deck, which I like to use because I feel it's very practical and it's more allowing us to do something rather than just, you know, so just want one card. Moon in Scorpio. Oop! 2 cards fell out. I just want one card. First, make a meal. Although it's the opposite sign of Taurus, people don't often think of Scorpios as good cooks, but they are very in tune with, not like an earth sign, but like connected, you know, to the outside world. And I do know of a Scorpio who was very into cooking, so you could be into that. Gordon Ramsay is an example of a Scorpio who's good at cooking. He's not a Scorpio moon, but energy work. Oh, I forgot to mention, yes. So Scorpio rules the snake Kundalini energy. So some people like to say in the high vibe state, the energy is going upwards, where they awaken and, you know, are able to assess situations calmly. And some people say when it's going downwards, it's towards that sensual, sexual energy. And so energy is always flowing, you know, so you can go either way. But you guys will be good at this because obviously you guys are a water sign and a spiritual sign. So 2 spiritual signs are Scorpio and Pisces. The traditional school of thought, more so than Cancer, because the 8th and 12th house really are the ones that go towards the spiritual side more. Cancer still does, but in a different way. It could point to therapy as well, but maybe you need something like, because Scorpios need that occult, esoteric stuff, or that religious stuff. Yes, I forgot to mention again, they can be very, very into all these things. Some of them can be very superstitious and even afraid, and that's the lower energy of Scorpio. And the higher energy, they face their fears and they delve deep into the unknown. Write a gratitude list. Okay, this is and be still. Okay, again, meditation, energy work, yoga. Scorpios need to feel at one with the universe, like the 8th house. Ironically, although we 8th house or Scorpio people crave deep connection, not like in a way of Libra, but in a way that it's a sign that goes after Libra, right? So it's a sign that symbolizes that deep bonding that deep emotional connection that you can't explain sometimes. And when they are, someone needs to, ironically, when, how do I put this, when they're alone, we 8th house Scorpio people, sometimes that's when they feel the most connected to the universe. It's exalted in Uranus, right? So it's about all that space and out there stuff that society thinks. And you could be very good at manifesting, and if you write a gratitude list, that could manifest things faster for you. And I always say, you know, the sign is just a knife. Whether we use it to make a meal or to hurt someone, that's our choice. So there's always a good and bad to everything. One more, ground yourself. I've been getting this card a lot. Like, I think all 3 of my readings so far, I have this card. I have to check on that. Yes, it's very important to ground yourself. You probably already know this when you do meditation work, because you might go like too much into your head. I think I should remove certain cards from this deck because I don't necessarily agree with it. Yeah, I'm gonna remove it now. There's some things that are just not meant to be shared. Where is it? If you watch my previous videos, you know that I read the book Path Working the Tarot, so it's a book that recommends that you work with the cards face up, which I should really put into practice, you know, now that I'm looking at the cards. Oh, I forgot to say as well, sorry, I keep saying that in this video. A lot of Scorpios work in fields that are, could be nursing or like not just detective work, because health, the field of like being a doctor or a surgeon, you know, surgeon is about going, not necessarily everyone with Moon and Scorpio will be a surgeon, but just an example, surgeons are about cutting below the surface and going into one's, like almost like the physical embodiment of a detective, right? And it's erratic, it's, you might be on call, working through the night, so they have the ability to be very good health professionals, even mental health professionals. They have the ability to, yes, this card I want to remove. They have the ability to be good healers once they are healed themselves. If they ever experience anything and need to go to therapy, on the flip side, they can be good therapists. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. I want to give you guys a bit more, to be fair to like all the signs. So I want to I have this Guan Yin Oracle, so I haven't done this for the other signs, but I'm just going with the flow because I feel like some Scorpios are very into this stuff, you know. So this is a picture. It says daughter of the Phoenix. Very, very true. Scorpio rules the Phoenix. So it's saying that you're going through a purification phase And you, after this phase, if you study astrology, you'll see that Phoenix is the highest embodiment of Scorpio, where the lowest embodiment, or the more physical embodiment, is the snake or the scorpion. And then the middle is the eagle. So you can study that. The eagle is like the leader, kind of. That's how I see it. So on the higher path, you guys are aligned with your soul's purpose, meaning what you feel connected with and what you feel like you're meant to do in this life. So I really like this. And the phoenix is a fiery animal, so it uses that fire to cleanse. So you may, if some of you are into working with fire, you may look into that. I know a woman, I don't know her chart or anything, but she comes across as very scorpionic to me. She works with essential oils and aromatherapy, so if you're looking into that, that may be something you want to study first, or get someone to teach you, because essential oils can be quite powerful and you really don't need a lot when you're using essential oils. You just need 1 or 2 drops, really. And please don't eat them, you know, it's not meant to be digested. Just putting that out there. Moon in Scorpio, just one more. Weave the future golden. Something good is coming your way. There's synchronicities, teachings, circumstances, opportunities. So both of these 2 cards are saying that there's an opportunity or like some change, positive change going your way. So if you're watching this, take that as a positive assurance. If you have your own cards, you can even use your own cards to read for yourself, you know, that would be more accurate. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope I covered everything. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.